CNN's Don Lemon is back in the headlines, and this time for saying something a little bit different. The biggest terror threat in the country are white men, he said. And when many asked him to apologize, he cited a Government Accountability Office report that says 9/11 far-right violent extremists have killed 106 people in 62 attacks across the country, and that 119 people have been killed in 23 attacks by radical Islamist extremists. CNN told the Associated Press that the network nor Lemon would comment any further. For the 360 view on this, we go to our liberal, Jose Aristimuño, and CEO of News Strategies and conservative commentator, Steve Malzberg. Thanks for joining me, gentlemen.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So, Steve, is Don Lemon right? Are you, the white man, more feared, should be more feared than any others?
You know, Don Lemon has become a joke, a total joke. He said this in the context. First, he said we should not demonize any group. He was talking about the caravan and the president's remarks about the caravan and how previous caravans dissipate and they don't all make it here anyway. So why are we demonizing? We should stop demonizing groups of people. And in the next breath, he said that, you know, white men are the biggest threat to this country and most dangerously, and we have to do something about them. That is a ticket to violence. And when you couple that with his previous statements where he's defended Antifa, the violence of Antifa, by saying, quote, no group is perfect, it's a very sad and dangerous situation.
Okay, so Jose, I have to ask you, do you feel the same way, even though you are our Democrat, our liberal point of view tonight? Do you feel like what Don Lemon said was out of, should not have been said?
I do. I think the comment was wrong. The white people are not, you know, the biggest threat to America. Now, the biggest threat to America is anybody who doesn't agree with our values and is, you know, trying to harm our country, and that could be anybody. So no, I think that absolutely the comments were wrong. It's unfortunate that we are living in such divisive times from both sides, and you know the biggest person who's responsible for this is the President of the United States. He sets the tone. His job as president is to set the agenda forth and to set the tone of where we go as a country. And the president has failed us, has failed every single one of us to unite the country, and that's unfortunate.
But that's my question for you, Jose. Were you expecting anything else? Do you see the president that was on the campaign trail, Trump, compared to what we have today? Isn't it, if anything, a little bit probably even tempered in some circumstances? So why is this such a surprise? And does that give us to justify any comments coming out of us as Americans in that way if we disagree?
Sure. No, I agree with you. I think it's not a surprise. I mean, I think when we saw first day when the president back then, when he was a candidate, he was speaking about Latinos, that they were all gangsters and they were all violent people. So no, so there's no surprise there, and which is why I think a majority of Americans voted against the president. Right? We had to remember that the Democrats won the popular vote. But my point is this: the president needs to do a better job. One thing is being a candidate, and one thing is being president of the United States. You gotta make sure that you hold the standards up to the office, and the president isn't doing a good job at that.
Well, that's the thing, Steve. I know you're sitting there, you're making the laughter face on that because the popular vote. I love that when that argument comes up because President Obama didn't win we would have had Hillary Clinton then probably as the Democrat nominee in 2008 if we were the popular vote. But President Trump did get elected. What is your feeling when you hear that argument come from the other side, talking about the President Trump speech? How do you respond back to it in the unification of America?
Well, first of all, you know, the Los Angeles Dodgers might have had more hits than the Boston Red Sox. Doesn't matter. It's not how the game is played. And Bill Clinton never got a majority of the votes either in two terms. That aside, look, it's people on the right, for the most part, who have been victims of violence. You look at Steve Scalise and the Republicans on that baseball field a couple of years ago. You look at people wearing Make America Great Again hats and T-shirts and have stickers on their cars that have been attacked in one way or another. Antifa beating up conservatives on college campuses. You know, to pin this, and the rhetoric. You say it starts at the top.
Steve. It's been both. It's been both. You know very well it's been both. We just had a terrorist try to send letters with potential bomb artifacts that had Trump stickers all over a van. So it's been both sides. Right. It's been both sides. And for you to come on live television and say...
I don't blame Bernie Sanders for the guy who shot Steve Scalise.
Bernie Sanders isn't the president of the United States.
He wanted to be, though, just because he didn't get elected. Does that mean different? He wanted to be.
100% it's different. You automatically, when you become president of the United States, the standards change. You are holding, you should respect the office of the presidency, and the president time and time again doesn't do it. He should unite the country.
He never called Hispanics, all Hispanics, as you said, any name. And by the way, he had greater Hispanic support than did McCain or Romney. So facts are facts.
And that's an issue that GOP is
not as much as the Democrats. Not as much as the Democrats.
Well, that's definitely an issue that the Republicans are having to face with minorities, and they're trying to outreach. Now, I got to go to a breaking news topic that's just now coming out. Recently, outgoing United States Ambassador to the United States, Nikki Haley, is stepping aside for whatever her next role is going to be. Reports are growing that State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert will replace her. I'm going to go to you, Steve, as a Republican, because you're going to be after the one that's going to be questioned. Say, is this the right person for the job to be ambassador? She's a lovely woman, great person. Fox News, read headlines on Fox News, been wonderful as press secretary, handled the State Department in a chaotic area. But does that make you qualified to be UN ambassador for the United States?
Look, I find it to be an odd choice. I think Heather Nauert, everything you described, I agree with. I think she's very intelligent. She's done a great job in what she's been given to do. You know, Samantha Power was a journalist covering wars in Yugoslavia, and then she got kicked off the Obama campaign for calling Hillary Clinton a name. She called her a monster. And then she subsequently went to work for a human rights organization, wound up in the Obama administration, and became UN ambassador. So stranger things have happened. I'm sure she'll do a good job if that's the case. But sure, there are more qualified people. But Donald Trump is unique, and he picks who he has a gut for.
Jose, yes or no? Is this going to be a good pick to represent the United States?
Look, I think that's for the Senate to decide. We got to make sure that's the privilege of the president to nominate who he wants to nominate. And senators should do a good job in asking her questions to see, like Steve said, if she's qualified to do it. You know, time will tell. But I do think her experience. She's a very intelligent woman, by the way. But being a journalist and coming from the media side, I don't know how helpful that will be.
Well, the good news
UN
is
ambassador.
I get the choice of getting to ask you questions, and I'm going to make sure that I ask both of you questions again when you come back on for the next topic. Thanks for joining me, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.